My mission is simple, to help you protect your family and keep more of your money. I'm here to help level the playing field for families and those who seek the truth. There's always a new way to make money, but at the end of the day, it's your family's security and your legacy that matter. And I promise to help you protect what's really important to you. Legacy Money starts now. Hello. Thank you for joining me. It's Barry Page. I'm your host. Welcome to the program. And whether you're live or on the recording, there will be no live chat today. We had something come up with our guests. So I'm in the studio for today's show, and I'm going to cover a very important topic. This episode, I want to focus on wealth transfers and how to reduce or eliminate them in your financial world. Our belief is that there's more to be had by eliminating the losses than by trying to pick the winners. So we're going to focus on that a little bit today. And, unfortunately, Wall Street has been very successful at convincing Americans that the only way to save money is through government qualified plans, retirement plans, 401ks, IRAs, and the like. But there's risk involved with these because most of these plans are in the markets. And as you know, the markets can be very volatile. So there's more sentiment coming out just today. I was reading a recent survey of consumer finances from the Fed. So let's take a look at that real quick. This is called Economic Well-Being of U.S. Households. It's from 2022, but it recently came out, and it has all the numbers. But overall, the financial well-being, most people think that they're not that well off. And in fact, most people felt like it had declined. Income had actually declined. Unemployment, as you may hear on the news, is low, but people are working 2-3 jobs just to keep up. And expenses have gone up. Inflation is eating away at our dollars every day. So there's a lot going on. And if we can reduce or eliminate some of these transfers or losses in our financial plan, then we're going to be better off. So let's I'm going to switch gears here a little bit and share a screen with you so we can focus on what the show is really all about today. So let me switch this. As you see here, there's actually over 20 different wealth transfers that occur on a regular basis. And, we have to learn how to identify them. And, you may encounter these along your financial journey, and whether or not you know absolutely nothing about financial planning, or you're all the way at the other end, that you've been saving money, you're ahead of the game, you have no debt. There's still going to be transfers. It's impossible to eliminate all of them, but I want to maybe share a few of them, and maybe we can focus on not only identifying these transfers, but what we can do to reduce or eliminate them. So mortgages, as you see here, are first. This is probably the largest way that most families will transfer away their money. There's qualified plans. We just talked about these. These are government retirement plans set forth by the IRS, IRAs, 401ks. These are qualified plans. And I'm just going to maybe look at those for you. Bear with me as I switch monitors here. But qualified plans, they do two things. They defer the tax, and we like to call this postpone, and they postpone the tax calculation. So, what do I mean by that? Well, If you are deferring taxes, you're postponing taxes to the future. And we get that, we hear that, we understand we're deferring taxes, but this calculation is determined later. So in other words, we don't know what tax bracket we're going to be in the future. We don't know what taxes are going to be in the future. So we could look at the tax thresholds, and I'll be glad to share that with you. But as you can see here, these rates, they change. The initial rate in 1913 started out pretty low, 1%, right? And you needed to be making 20,000. The top bracket was 7%, and the highest bracket was 500,000. But that was over 100 years ago. But they monkey around with these brackets. As you see, every year something changes. And, if you look here, the top rate in 1953 was 92%. Can you imagine that? Paying 92% of your income to taxes. Now, you had to be making 400,000 to do that. And that was a lot of money back then. But again, it's all relative. So all you had to be making was $4,000 for 22% of your income to be taxed at that point. And as you can see, these brackets go up and down. And the income goes up and down. For instance, 1982, that was the year I graduated high school. The highest bracket was $85,000. And 50% of that, so if you made 85, 50% was going to taxes. The lowest bracket was 3,400, and you were taxed 12% just on that. So it's pretty crazy. And many say we're kind of in that environment today with inflation and things going on, and so much talk about the Fed and interest rates. We had a great video on Fed rates last week, so be sure to check that out if you haven't already. But moving on up to where we are today, the initial rate starts out at about 10% if you're making 22,000, and the highest bracket 37, and it's really actually about 40 when you count in the Medicare and the other taxes. With that, you have to be making 693,000. But there's brackets in between, and most people fall in between those brackets somewhere. So tax rates change, and we don't know what bracket we're going to be in when we retire. So maybe we can eliminate some of these taxes by moving some of our savings, our assets, into tax-free assets. And so along with deferring the taxes, postponing the taxes, we have to be concerned about what deductions we'll have. Now, many people think they're going to be in a lower tax bracket when they retire. However, we have deductions like mortgages, children, child tax deductions that we're not going to have later on when we are in retirement. So I talked to many retired people today, recently, just had a conversation, and people are paying more income taxes today than they were during their working years. So that's what qualified plans do. We don't know what bracket we're going to be in. We don't know what deductions we're going to have until we get there. So there has to be a balance between taxable income and non-taxable income. So there's many other areas. If you have children, maybe college, funding college, this can be a large transfer, obviously, out of your plan, your wealth, your circle of wealth. Many types of taxes on top of that. There's compound interest where, for instance, if you have your money in a CD and it's compounding over time, you're also paying taxes as that amount compounds. You get a 1099 every year for that. There's income taxes, there's estate taxes, property taxes. And then something most people don't think of, taxes on Social Security. There's also taxes and other transfers, things like insurance, whether it be your auto insurance. Maybe you don't have your deductibles coordinated. Disability protection. Many people don't have disability insurance. This could be a major transfer if you become disabled. So if you want to learn more about disability, schedule a time and with me, and we can talk further about how you might be able to take care of that. Your homeowner's insurance. This can be a major transfer. Major medical coverage. Now, it's becoming or has become increasingly harder to get individual health insurance in today's economy. ACA changed all of that. We no longer offer health insurance because of ACA. So, in the state of Mississippi, where I live, it's hard to get individual health insurance. So, if you have group coverage at work, you're definitely blessed to have that. But there's still ways that you could be transferring away money with your health insurance. And if you don't have enough, you don't have correct insurance, possibly you're in a government ACA plan that doesn't cover as many expenses as your other plan did, then you might want to check on that. But other types of insurance, umbrella policies, liability policies, I find many families do not have these. And the more assets you have, if you have a business, you definitely want to have an umbrella or liability policy. And then there's things, like wills and trust. I know it's hard to do this. People put this off, procrastinate on it, but there's many ways to build these estate plans, wills, trust. But knowing how to do it, speaking with the professionals, can save you a lot of money, a lot of time. But I want to focus on just a couple things in today's video, so I don't take up too much of your time. We can examine each and every one of these if you are concerned about them, or you want to take a look at your financial plan and get a review. I encourage you to do that. And when looking at that, if you'll just go to our website, you can schedule a meeting there if you want to talk more about how to reduce or eliminate these transfers. So moving along, and I'm going to focus a little bit on income versus expenses. Okay. So in this example, just to make it easy for everyone to understand, let's look at a 40-year-old that wants to retire at age 65. This is a common age because of government plans, Social Security, Medicare, whatnot, typically start at that age. And that's when most people look at retirement. So we'll take them all out to there, and we'll just use a round number of $100,000 and say they get a 3% income growth, which would be fortunate in today's world. But let's say you did. And let's say this person already saved $75,000, put that away, and they're going to get 6% return on their savings or investments. So as you see here, this is a nice green curve accumulating over time. And in a perfect world, they would save all of that money and they'd have $8 million when they got to retirement. That's a lot of money. But what I want you to understand here is that this money is going to pass through your hands regardless. Okay. In the ideal world, this person might be saving, all of that money. But we know we have, other expenses. So let's look at taxes. 25%, I think most people would agree is a good number. So let's see how that might affect things. All right. So now we've got 6 million after taxes. Now that's paying taxes along the way. That's not necessarily including the taxes that will be paid during retirement or when you step back from working. Maybe you can't work. Maybe you were disabled. So that changes things a little bit. I think you're starting to get the picture. Um, and let's look at what debt does to things. Now, most people have debt. If you don't, consider yourself fortunate. Um, and let's look at what that does. Well, in this scenario, you can still save 50%. So that's great. That's the green. Okay. And you spent money on this debt. That's the gold there. Okay. And then we also spent money on taxes. So if you look at that now, this person has 4 million and $200,000 accumulated. So they spent 3.8 million along the way to service debt and for their lifestyle. Now you might be thinking, well, I don't have any debt, or maybe you're thinking I have more debt than 25%. I don't know. Everybody's situation is different, but we have to understand that debt is a major wealth transfer. As a matter of fact, there's going to be three major transfers for all of us during our lifetime. And whether or not you actually have debt or not, if you're saving money um, and you're spending money, you're going to transfer away money. That's called lost opportunity cost, money that could be invested or saved elsewhere. So again, in this scenario, the person is saving 50%. Now we all know that's very unlikely, although I have met people that were saving 50% of their income, but we know that's unlikely. And we have to live here. So, I don't know how much you want to live on, but let's just say you could live on 25%. So it's a nice 25% going to taxes, 25% going to debt, 25% going to lifestyle, and then we're still saving 25%. So as you see here, things have changed. And now we're actually um, further behind. We've now spent $5.8 million between the ages of 40 and 65. And we have saved 25% of our income. So that's $2.2 million. So if you're making $100,000 over the next 25 years and you save, 25%, invest it, and you're getting 6%, then, you're going to have over $2 million accumulated. That's if you do it every single year. Now, we all know that some years are better than others. Some years we might save more than others. This is just an example. So I want to show you kind of reality. Okay. Now, the truth is, most people are not saving 25%. Most people aren't even saving 10%. So let's say, though, that they're living a good life and they have a lifestyle of 40%, more than their taxes, more than their debt. And we'll apply those changes and see what that looks like. So now we've got just over $1 million. But as you see, we spent $7 million during that time period. That's a lot of money. And how can we keep some of that money? I know that's the big question everybody has. Well, we may have to change some habits. We may have to look at things a little differently. But this is our wealth potential. This is what we could do. And if we could maybe lower our bracket, especially during retirement, that's going to be huge. If we could lower our debt service, maybe get it down to 10%. Okay. And that leaves us a little more to live on. Okay. And, but in this case, maybe we're only saving 5%, which is a little more like what probably most people have today. They're saving about 5% and they're spending money wherever it goes. But these are the areas that typically we spend money. And again, maybe I can help you reduce or eliminate some of these. But I just wanted to let you look at reality and what it's really like. And so, as you can see, in this scenario, we've saved $710,000. Now, just some quick math. If you have $710,000 in your retirement account when you retire, okay, that's going to give you about $28,000 a year to live on before taxes. Before taxes. Let that sink in a little bit. 28,000 and you're used to earning 100, and with inflation and income growth, that's probably going to be probably closer to 200,000 over that 25-year time period if you get raises along the way. So this calculates for that. And you only have $710,000 now. So this is reality for most American families. And I just want you to notice that the lion's share of this money is going to taxes and debt service and lifestyle. And most of us aren't living this 60%. Most of us are probably somewhere in the 35, or at least the people that I run into, some of them are. And I'd say 20% of the people I work with have no debt at all. Another probably 50% have, 10, maybe 20% of debt. But still a majority, or not a majority, but still probably another 20 to 30% of the people have large debt that they're servicing, whether it be vehicles, home equity lines of credit, mortgages, credit cards, or revolving lines of credit. And so this is a major transfer. And, again, if somebody were able to save 10%, they are going to be in a better situation. And in this scenario here, about 30% could go to lifestyle. They're saving 10%, and that gives $1 million. Now, again, $1 million sounds like a lot of money today, but at retirement, if that's all you have, you're probably going to run out of money. You may have Social Security. That might be, $20,000 to $50,000 a year, depending on your age and tax bracket and married or single. But, even that can be taxed. So I just want you to understand that we have transfers, in our lives. And if we can reduce or eliminate these transfers, we're going to be in a lot better position. So this is the position that obviously some people might be in a 40% tax bracket. And all the while, they're going along here, and maybe they are saving 10%, but a lot of that money might be going to taxes. Okay. Now, if they're in that bracket, they're probably, again, making a lot of money. So, we can just look at it that way. And as you see here, the lion's share still goes to taxes. Over that person's lifetime, if they're making $500,000 a year, okay, $15 million to taxes. And it's not going to change much during retirement. You have to understand that if you're accustomed to earning $500,000 a year and now you're retired, well, how are you going to go back to living on $100,000 or $50,000 or even $200,000? And most of the people that I know, earning that kind of money do have debt service. So, but this is reality. Again, $100,000 is probably more than the average family is making. And, maybe we can reduce or eliminate this debt and get this back down to 25% bracket. And if we can save 20%, then we're going to be in a much better scenario. So this is kind of, we can't do much about income taxes while we're working other than possibly how we're earning our income. But if you've got a normal W-2 job or even a 1099 income, not much that we can do about taxes. If you're 1099, obviously you might have some exemptions, some exclusions, some deductions that you can utilize. But in this scenario, if you notice that we have a much better lifestyle, and that's what we want you to have, is a better lifestyle. So what can we do to reduce or eliminate some of these taxes, interest, and fees in our life, which those are the major transfers. In this situation, this person spent about $4.2 million over those 25 years towards their lifestyle. They spent about $2 million on taxes, and they were able to save $1.8 million. So that's, again, quite a bit of money. We'll round it up to $2 million. 4% safe withdrawal rate should net that person, about $80,000 a year, but that's before taxes. So again, we want to be able to reduce or eliminate these taxes and carry that into retirement, because we've become accustomed to a lifestyle by the time we get there. So that's what I wanted to share with you, just about our wealth potential, what we could do and where our money is going. And we can get very granular and look at your expenses and see where you might be transferring away money. But again, most of these transfers come, from just a couple of places. And these are them. There's over 20, again, major wealth transfers. And so our job is to help you eliminate some of those transfers. And you can certainly do that. I just wanted to share with you here how you might be able to get a hold of us. You can go to our website, and I've hit the wrong screen here. A lot of buttons to push. LegacyInsuranceAgency.com. You can go to the contact link there, and you can just click on that. And once you do, you can meet with us in person if you're local, or you can schedule a virtual meeting online. I'll be glad to meet with you online. You can, if you just want an introductory call to get to know us a little better, or you can set up a full financial review. Just click those buttons on there at LegacyInsuranceAgency.com, and we will have a meeting. But those are the major wealth transfers that we will encounter over our lifetime. And again, I just want to be able to help you avoid or eliminate those wherever we can. So thank you for joining me today. I appreciate that. And I would appreciate it if you subscribe to our channel. If you like the video, give me a thumbs up. And next week, we'll be back live again. Hope to have a guest there then. And I appreciate you joining me. So have a great day, and I'll talk to you next time.